Hey guys, welcome to Chapter 1.1 of your Ultimate BrainBee Review, Major Brain Landmarks based off of the Brain Facts book. Let's take a quick tour of the human brain, the control center of your entire body. Your brain has about 86 billion neurons, which are tiny cells that send messages super duper fast. These messages help you move, think, feel, remember things, and even just stay alive. What's cool is that your brain can do a lot of things at the same time. You might be texting, walking, listening to music, and thinking about what's for dinner all at once. That's because your brain is divided into specific parts, and each one handles a specific job. So let's go through them step by step. The cerebrum is the largest part of the human brain. It's divided into the left and right cerebral hemispheres, which control opposite sides of the body. They constantly share information through the corpus callosum, which is a thick bundle of nerve fibers that connects the two hemispheres. The surface of your cerebrum is a thin, wrinkled layer of gray matter called your cerebral cortex. Your corpus callosum acts kind of like a superhighway, carrying messages between the two halves of your brain. So while your brain has many nerves connecting hemispheres throughout, the corpus callosum is by far the thickest and most prominent bundle of these nerve fibers. Without it, the hemispheres wouldn't be able to coordinate complex tasks like combining movement, vision, and speech during conversation or sports. Covering your cerebrum is the cerebral cortex, which is a folded outer layer filled with neurons. The folds give it more surface area, which means more brain power in the same space. We divide the cortex into 4 main lobes, each with its own job. The frontal lobes help with decision-making, planning, movement, memory, and your personality. The parietal lobes handle touch, spatial awareness, and some visual processing. The occipital lobes are all about vision. They recognize colors, shapes, and motion. And your temporal lobes focus on hearing, language, and storing memories. Also, just a quick note that you have 2 of each lobe in your brain, one on either side. Deep inside your brain is your limbic system, which helps with emotion, memory, and motivation. There's an easy way to remember the major parts with the acronym PATH squared. We can start with P, standing for pituitary gland. This is also referred to as the master gland because it controls various bodily functions by producing and releasing hormones that regulate other glands and organs. A is for amygdala, which is an almond-shaped structure that processes emotions like fear and anger. You have 2 of these in your brain, 1 in each temporal lobe, and this cluster of small neurons is often responsible for anxiety, so we can blame a lot of our problems on amygdala. The T is for thalamus, which relays sensory information to the rest of the brain. The hypothalamus controls things like hunger, body temperature, and sleep. It plays a crucial role in maintaining homeostasis, which is your body's ability to maintain a stable internal environment even with external changes. So, for example, the hypothalamus contains neurons that respond to changes in blood glucose and other factors to trigger feelings of hunger or fullness. And our final H stands for the hippocampus. Its name comes from the Greek word for seahorse because its curved structure resembles a seahorse. The hippocampus forms and encodes new memories. Notice that the hippocampus and amygdala are also parts of the temporal lobes, hence why the temporal lobes integrate information and store memories. These areas work together to help you react emotionally, store memories, and keep your body in balance. The forebrain includes the cerebral cortex and the limbic system. It's responsible for our most complex behaviors, like thinking, reasoning, emotions, and memory. If you're solving a math problem or recalling a childhood memory, you're using your forebrain. Below the forebrain is the midbrain, which plays a very key role in reflexes, eye movement, and auditory responses. If you've ever jumped at a loud sound, that's your midbrain in action. It also helps with fine motor control, think about writing or playing a piano. Also, another fact that we're throwing onto this slide is that the basal ganglia regulates complex body movements. It's made up of parts of the midbrain and forebrain, and you can Google the specific names of the structures that compose it, but you don't need to know them for the BrainBee. Next is the hindbrain, controlling glucose regulation, sleep, and movement. It includes the cerebellum, the pons, and the medulla. And together, the midbrain, medulla, and pons form the brainstem, which connects your brain to your spinal cord. So the first part of your hindbrain is your cerebellum. It's under the occipital lobe, and it contains more than half of your brain's neurons. It controls balance, coordination, and motor learning, like when you're learning to ride a bike or how to type. It's also called the mini brain because its structure is like a mini cerebrum. Damage to the cerebellum can cause jerky gait, shaky movements, and difficulty with coordination, like missing when trying to touch your nose. Next, the pons lies below cerebellum. It helps with breathing, posture, and sleep regulation, and acts like a bridge linking different parts of the brain. Last but not least, the medulla connects the brain to the spinal cord. It controls vital functions like swallowing, heart rate, breathing, and digestion, and makes them run automatically without conscious effort. So that's it for major brain landmarks. Here's a list of vocab to screenshot and review. For the BrainBee, focus on understanding what each part does and how they all work together. Later chapters build off of this knowledge quite a bit, so make sure you have this down. Thank you for tuning in and happy studying.